Hello and welcome to the 2013 UF1R San Marino Grand Prix with me, your commentator, Ed. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, December marks 10 years since the release of the original Trackmania game in 2003. What you might not know is that earlier this year, UF1R celebrated its own 5-year anniversary. With that in mind, the admins have been working extra hard to transfer all their kit over to Trackmania 2 Stadium, and on October 27th, the first race of the season began at Imola. Let's check out the grid. Sammy's on pole with a fantastic time of a 45.9. Roy lines up second. Nightfire set a great time but had to pull out at the last minute. Ed is fourth. On the third row it's Nitrous and Iron who accidentally forgot to practice. Whatever. Row 4 is two newcomers, 622 and Diablo. Both are hoping to make an impression along with UF1R, another newcomer. And this will be Tommen's first ever race for points as well. Cyrus is 11th ahead of Cast who hasn't had much practice. Bringing up the rear, it's Roy's son, Corey, and the ever-affable Frenchman, Doof. Lights out, away we go! Great start by Roy as the pack descends towards Tamburello. And Iron is starting to challenge Sammy as well. Everyone gets through cleanly, all except for Diablo, who gets it all wrong in the Ferrari. And Iron's dropped back a bit, let's let Ed and Nitrous through, and Nitrous trying to move on Ed. And Sammy's got a great run on Roy, he takes the inside, so does Ed, but Nitrous gets a bit of a run out of it. This is the view from Roy. As they move into Piratella. Oh, and a curb back for Sammy. That's going to drop him well down. This is the back of Cyrus as he holds off Lorino. And Nitrous a little wide as they enter Acro Minerale. Let's let Iron and Ed through. And Sammy is dropped from the lead down to 7th place. Cyrus gets Minerale very badly wrong. He's down to 13th. Diablo takes Doof and goes up to 11th. Approaching into the first lap. Roy's first. Ed's the second. Iron third. Oh, but Chris isn't going to be fourth if he keeps driving like that. And Corey's having a fantastic first lap. Here he takes Chris up to 5th. Oh, not quite. And Ed's still closing a little bit on Roy. Bit of a gap down to Iron. Then 62. Oh, Chris giving that Mercedes a real beating. Oh, and Cast makes 2 places in 1 there. Chris down to 9th. That's not good. As Diablo takes Lorino. Oh, big hit for Corey. I was saying how well he was doing. But Cast up to 6th now. Lorino looking for a way past Diablo. Oh, he gets a good run out of Tosa. And Corey fighting back against Cast. He's back through. And Lorino duking it out with Diablo through Piratella, but Diablo just outsmarts him. Oh, big mistake from Cast into Minerale. Chris goes through. You're riding with 622 in the Lotus, and he's got Sammy all over the back of him. He's going to make the move here for sure. They dive into Rivarza. Sammy on much tighter line through that corner than 622. And Ed's still not giving up because it seems Roy can't break away from him. Is he considering a move? Oh, I think he is. Look, he's got an excellent toe on him down the straight. Is it going to work out as they head into Villeneuve? Now he locked the brakes there. Roy's still ahead. And Corey hits Minerale. It's the corner that everyone seems to be getting wrong. Cast making a move on Chris. Free wide into the chicane. Oh, Corey loses out there. And Nitrous retaking the place from Cast. This is Sammy closing on Iron. The two Belgians right together on the racetrack. They get on very well. I'm sure Sammy would love Iron to move across, but that's clearly not going to happen. Oh, mistake from Sammy. It's going to take even longer to catch up to the leaders. Lorino sizing up Corey. He's on the power much earlier on a tighter line. He's through. This is the back of Tommen in 6th place. And Chris goes wide, hits another wall. Oh, Tommen up in the air there. As Diablo fancies a go at Chris. Oh, thinks better of it. And Cast in the Force India, maybe being a little cautious if anything, because Chris keeps catching up to him. Side by side into the chicane. Oh, and Cast backs off. Is he going to catch up to Tommen now? He goes through the chicane. Oh, and he hits it. And it's just going from bad to worse for Nitrous at the moment. But there's still a long way to go in this race as Diablo passes him. And Chris will be very angry with himself. He goes into Tosa and Chris / Nitrous has a go at Diablo and it works. That's moved Nitrous up to 8th, but he wants to go at 7th. He's going to attack Cast again. He's got to hope that Cast will lift at the chicane again. He does. Look, he's caught a tremendous amount on him. He lines up the move, heading to Rivarza. Very smooth, very clean. That's more like it, Chris. And Iron under pressure from Sammy. Sammy's got a great run. And he starts to edge closer and pull alongside. And Sammy's gone a bit wider. He's going to try and do what Ed does, but he makes it work, whereas Ed couldn't when he tried it on Roy earlier. So Sammy up to 3rd, and now Diablo wants a crack at Cast. Oh, I think he's going to do it. Aggressive stuff from the Ferrari driver. An impressive move. Oh no, he hit the wall. Such a tiny error from the Russian. And a tiny error from Cast too is letting back through. Meanwhile, up front, let's get back to the leaders, because Sammy, Ed, Roy all closing right together. There's only a couple of seconds in it between them all. We're riding with Sammy now as he goes through the first chicane, and he's got a decent run on Edster. Maybe he can make something of it. And Sammy breaks late into Villeneuve, but he's just too far back to try and move. They go into Tosa. Nitrous has got in front of Tom somewhere. I'm sorry we missed that. Presume Tom made a mistake somewhere. But we're just a bit busy focusing on the battle for the lead at the moment. Which is happening concurrently. Ooh, Sammy gets a great run out of Aqua Minerale and he's going through. Sammy up to second and Corey trying to defend 11th from Cyrus. He breaks free a bit of the chicane. The battle at the back is just as vicious as the battle at the front. Except at the back they're a little bit slower and Corey makes a mistake. And Roy's led 9 laps of the race so far. Oh, big hit! Ed challenging Sammy, but I think Sammy's a bit wily old fox. He's seen that one coming a mile off. But that was terrible, terrible luck for Roy. He did everything right until that point. And Chris catching up to 6.22. I think he's going to make the move. He would have got by there. And Edster weaving all over the place, trying to look for a way through. That was very tidy coming out of Piratelli. He's got a decent run. Getting into the danger corner now. Whoa! Can he make that stick? He can! Brilliant move by Edster. He did it on Sammy, on the hardest corner of the track. Now can he pull away from him and control this race? And he's turned too early. He hit the inside. Oh, he only led for 4 corners. Now Roy's going to pass him. Yeah, he does. And that was pretty unlucky, you gotta say. It was like the corner just spat him out. Oh, and he gets by Roy almost immediately. Edster very keen to make amends for that grievous error. Oh, and his Nitrous, it appears he didn't get by 6.22 that first attempt. He's going to try again through the chicane. Oh, good outbraking move there. Kept his speed up. And Roy hanging on to Edster. I sense that he's not finished with him yet. 2 of the top drivers in UF1R racing today. And that's Roy's son, Corey, ahead. Still down in 12th place as they lap him. Here's where Ed made a mistake earlier. He's cautious through there. Roy's gaining a bit. Edster has to lift, but Roy gets great traction. Separate very Antibassa. Ed dives in to defend, but Roy just drives plain outside him. Great move. They approach the chicane close together. Cyrus has hit it. Oh, and so has Roy. Edster regains the place. I'm not sure what happened to Cyrus there, but that's probably going to help Corey in the battle for 11th. As Tom challenges 6.22. Oh, goes a bit wide there. And Roy has to do what he did last lap all over again. A dive into Rivalza. He closes up. They go into the second Rivalza. And he gets the power on much earlier. It's not that Edster's driving particularly awfully, it's just that Roy's just doing it brilliantly. Now got that fantastic rear-facing angle. We can see him nibbling away at the back of Roy. Although try to keep that image out of your mind. He seems alongside. Is he going to try and move? Oh, whoa, Jesus Christ, he's really close, isn't he? Sorry, ladies and gents, I just saw this massive McLaren heading straight for me. Going clean through Roy, in fact. Although he's still behind, and as I expected, yes, Cyrus has fallen behind Corey, but he's catching up again. They approach Aqua Minerale. Ooh, so cautious through there. Top 3 are still very close together now. And about to get closer still. I think Roy dropped a gear there and just Edster just powers through. But Roy tries to fight back on the exit of the chicane. Great defensive driving from Roy. Edster finding it very difficult to find a crack in the armoury that he can exploit. Corey's still ahead of Cyrus. Oh, he hits the wall. Cyrus gets back through into 11th. And if Edster wants to try and win this race, he needs to get a move on and try something risky to get by Roy. Oh, he dives in. It works out. Now, back to the Cast Diablo battle for 8th. Diablo makes a mistake. Let's cast back through. And the first man to take a pit stop is Corey. It's 16 minutes into the race. A bit early. Oh, I think he's sped in the pits. Yes, he has. That means he'll be stationary for an extra 30 seconds. Edster trying to lap Tom, and then the front lifts up! Very hairy moment there. Fuel and tyres are really running out for these guys. 6.22 pits now. Corey went for pit bay 2, so he's fuel for 26 minutes, but 6.22 goes for pit bay 3. And this is where strategy is going to come into play as Chris makes his stop. And that's one of the Caterhams. I think it's Cyrus. Oh, and he sped as well. Look, he stopped. And that's his teammate Iron in the background. Oh, very late entry. Had to slide so he didn't miss it there. I should explain, when a driver speeds in the pits, it's only on entry that they have to obey the speed limit. It's cast enters too now. So on the exit you can go as fast as you want, but on the entry if you go over 120 miles per hour, a black screen pops up and it stops the drivers from moving. They have to wait for 30 seconds until it clears and then they make the stop. So Cast and Nitrous have gone for pit bay 3, as Lorino pits as well. Iron went for pit bay 2. And the Reno and the Lotus first to go for the short stop. Cyrus serves the penalty now and goes for pit bay 3. Now, Sammy's pitting now. We think that most people are going to try and two-stop the race. And Sammy goes for pit bay 2. What does Edster do? He shadows that. And how far behind is Roy? He's entering the pits just behind his teammate, and Doof in the background there. I think at this point the top 4 have all definitely committed to a 2-2 pit stop strategy. Sammy on exit here now. 622, Nitrous, Cast and Cyrus all went for pit bay 3, but that's not going to get them to the end. They'll have to do at least one more stop, probably in pit bay 1. And the 2 Williams cars leaving at the same time. Ooh, and Tommen lets Roy through there. Smart move by the Williams boys. This is Cast behind Lorino, who took the short stop. And Cast took the longer strategy. There we go, clean move. Needs to make sure he doesn't get held up behind anyone. But Cast didn't get the greatest of runs out of Aqua Minerale there. He lifts through the chicane again. That lets Lorino get another opportunity. What's going to happen down into Rivalsa? Oh, Cast brakes late, gets the move done. And this is 622 trying to pass Diablo, who was the other driver who took a short first stop, but it didn't quite work out there into Villeneuve, side by side through Tosa. 622 battling with Tommen, remember, for 6th place overall. Sammy, meanwhile, trying to lap both of them in the Marussia. They approach Aqua Minerale and Diablo brakes late. Ooh, but he went a little too deep there. 622 had him covered. Edster in 2nd place. But he gets the chicane wrong. It was a double hit. Surely that's going to allow Roy to close right up on him. Complete brain fade from Ed there, I'm sorry to say. And now he's really made his chances of winning this race even lower. And Roy's all over the back of him. Can Edster hold his nerve? Into the final chicane. Ooh, very close to the apex there, but he gets away with it. Roy on board with Edster looking back at Roy, and you can just see how precise you have to be through that chicane. And Roy's Williams has got to tow down the straight. Can Roy get past? Ooh, not quite that time. And Edster using every trick in the book to keep him behind. But Roy just being relentless at the moment. And he hits the exit. That's going to let Roy pass. They go into Aqua Minerale in 622 up ahead. Under attack from Diablo, but he goes wide. 622 back ahead, and Roy ahead of Ed. Edster and Roy lap 622 as they enter the first chicane. And not for the first time, Roy hits the exit. Ed back through. Ooh, and a curb back. That's messed up his turning point. He's hit a wall. Roy's definitely going to close back on Edster now. Edster going into Aqua Minerale. Ooh, and there's much more grip than was expected there. He hits the inside, he hits the outside. Roy goes through. Ooh, and Roy lifts the fronts into the air, but he manages to save it. Ooh, bad hit for Tom. Oh, and he's out the circuit. That's disastrous for Tommen. He's running in such a strong 6th place as well. He rams his car against the wall. He desperately wants to get back on track, but to no avail. And he doesn't know what to do, and who can blame him? We saw Edster muck up and get away with it. We saw Corey muck it up, Cast being cautious through there, and now we see why he was being so cautious, because he didn't want this to happen to him. And he nearly flips the Williams trying to get back on. He just hasn't got a fast enough run up. He's losing places hand over fist. Meanwhile, his teammate Roy's doing an excellent job. Ooh, bit of a slide there from getting over the curb. That's going to give Edster a run. He's right behind. Oh, and he shrugs the wall. And Roy's starting to pull away as they approach Aqua Minerale. Oh, he hits the outside, he hits the inside. Just no margin for error there at all as Edster powers through. Bad news for Roy, but good news for Edster. They go into the first chicane. Cyrus gets it wrong. Roy gets it wrong too. Dead stop for Roy. And Lorino challenging Diablo. He gets through. This is the battle we saw at the start of the race, and it's repeating itself. Diablo gets a better exit though of that corner as they go into the final chicane. And now Lorino fights back as Corey pits a few laps down on them. Remember, these two are on the same strategy. Ooh, very risky from Diablo. But it pays off, and he takes the Frenchman. Who's going to get that braking spot on for Villeneuve? Oh, it looks like it's Lorino. Seat of the pants stuff. Lorino up into 9th place, but can Diablo respond to that? Both these drivers having very solid Grand Prix debuts here. Ooh, I think Diablo's got a bit of a run on Lorino here. And he closes into Aqua Minerale. Ooh, but not quite close enough. Weaving this way and that. It's just a very even, close battle between two pretty evenly matched drivers, you have to say. And they enter Rivalsa and Diablo sweeps around the outside. Great move. Caught Lorino napping practically there. The battle isn't over as they approach the left right of Variante Bassa. Oh, and Diablo slows. He's got a problem. He's got a problem. No, he's just going into the pit. Sorry, my mistake, everyone. Is he going to two-stop the race on a 1-3 strategy? I think he is. How's Lorino going to respond to that? Oh, as Tommen just makes it back on track. Massive relief to be back in the race. He's 8 laps down though. Have to see if he can catch Doof. And Iron pits a couple of minutes early, that's interesting, as Tommen also pits. He's going to have to take an extra pit stop due to that off. And here's Sammy, surely out of fuel now. Yep, he's going in. We're almost 47 minutes into the race. And we predict that at this pace the leaders are showing, the race will end at about 69, 70 minutes. So they can pull off 2 stops in pit bay 2, and Edster realises that as well. And Roy enters the pit bay just as Sammy's leaving. How frustrating is that? So it's Edster is the one with the most realistic chance. Oh, especially if Sammy keeps making mistakes like that. It's always the pit stops where Edster seems to gain a bit on him. Both drivers pushing like crazy. There's Sammy, and here's Edster. Jesus Christ, that's a curb bug and a half. Fatigue really starting to creep in. Oh, dead stop for Sammy! And he has to waste time reversing out. That's going to lose him so much time. And Edster just emerging at the end of the back straight. He's not going to pass Sammy at this corner, but he's gone from being an outside chance to being right in the thick of it, which was exactly what he needed. Let's ride on board with him through Piratella. Closing on a back marker now, it's Sammy's teammate Doof Doof. It's compromised Sammy, he brakes early. Edster much faster out the corner. He takes the lead, which hopefully he holds for longer than just 4 corners. And Edster pushing really hard and starting to build a bit of a gap on Sammy. Can he do this? Oh, but he tags the wall a bit. Just turned that fraction too early for the final chicane, and Sammy's going to close right up again. They go through Tamburello and Sammy is gaining fractionally. This is the opportunity that Sammy's been looking for, and he goes for it. But it's not over yet. Edster is still right behind him. It's neck and neck as they exit Tosa, and Edster able to hold a little bit more momentum. Will it be enough? Can he maintain the lead? Oh yes, he can. This is absolutely fantastic. They enter Aqua Minerale. Sammy still right on his tail. Oh, and Sammy slides it. Just look at the way they're both pushing their cars. They're on the ragged edge of retardation, and I mean that in a good way. And Sammy building up a decent tow going into the chicane. Oh, but he had to brake there. I don't think he's got a good enough run to try a move. Let's look at the back marker ahead, and Edster goes wide. And Sammy's able to keep the power down. This is it, now or never. He goes round the outside. And in one decisive sweep, oh, as he pops over the curb, Sammy is back in the lead of the race. Here's 622 making his second and final stop. This is going into pit bay 1. It's a short last pit stop from him. He's done a decent job. He looks a safe bet for 6th. Chris pits from 5th. And Edster has not given up on trying to win the race. Far from it. All he needs is just a little mistake from Sammy, and he knows that right now he can be there to take advantage. None so far from Sammy though. Going into Tosa, he lifts early for the title line, but Edster doesn't seem to be gaining very much. A slide from Sammy going into Piratella, maybe this could be it. The run down to Aqua Minerale, he needs a perfect corner to work this one through. Oh, and there's a curb bug, he's pushing so hard right now. And Sammy defending like crazy as Edster starts to pull alongside. And who's going to get the better run going through Rivarza? Edster's got a good run. Can he make it stick? No, Sammy cuts down the inside. So Lorino going for a 3-stop strategy. Oh, I'm not sure that's going to work out for him. He'll spend too much time in the pits. And Cast comes in for his second and last stop. This is important. Where does he come out relative to Diablo, who's fighting for 7th? No, he comes out just behind. And Tommen coming in now for his third and final stop. He needs to beat Doof Doof if he's going to come out with something from this race. And Tommen turns very sharply and hits the wall. Not sure what happened there. Doesn't look to have lost him too much time though. There's Doof Doof. Tommen comfortably ahead. Ooh, and what's this? Iron taking a final stop? I thought he was fueled to the end. Maybe pitting early for the second stop cost him, or perhaps he just wanted to avoid the ignominy of being lapped by Sammy and the frontrunners. Meanwhile, here's Cast, and he's right behind Diablo. And this is shaping up to be an interesting battle at the end of the race. And I do truly mean the end of the race, because Sammy is about to finish the final lap through the chicane, and he crosses the line to win the San Marino Grand Prix, the opening race of the season. After another superb performance, Ed still finishes second. Roy will finish third, but who's going to finish 7th? And Cast, keeping the pressure up. Remember, he only just got the game a few days before the race. But he had some great races on Trackmania Nations / United Forever. And he's going to be drawing on that experience as much as he can while he fights Diablo, the newcomer. It would be a fantastic result if he can beat Cast, but he's right behind him. Oh, he just tags the wall. Frustration for Cast. He's only got 4 laps left to pass him. These two have basically mirrored each other's strategies. Diablo went pit bay 1, then pit bay 3, and Cast went pit bay 3 and then pit bay 1. He needs to get closer again. Aqua Minerale may present that opportunity to him. Oh, he gets a decent run out of here as they approach the chicane. No hesitation this time from Cast. He's got a great toe now. He's going to go for it. Here we go. Diablo loses out of the first Gibraltar. Oh, but he just zooms around the outside. So difficult to pass there. We saw how Ed struggled with trying to pass Sammy, and it seems Cast is having a similar problem. They cross the start-finish line and move into lap 80. And Iron has finished 4th. Sorry I haven't shown that, but we've been so engrossed in this battle. And it could be important for the Constructors' Championship as well, because neither of these two guys have got their teammates here today. And Cast very close to the wall as they exit Tosa. Oh, and look how late he broke there for Piratella. He's right next to him now. This is it as they approach Aqua Minerale. Cast risking everything. Can he make it ahead? No, he hits the exit. Oh, that may have been his last chance to pass him. Chris finishes 5th. A great drive by him. Great recovery. 622 brings it home 6th for Lotus. And we still don't know quite who's going to be 7th. I think it's going to be Diablo. It's a great debut for him, but disappointment for Cast. 9th is Lorino. Maybe he could have been higher up if he picked a different strategy. And 10th it's going to be Cyrus, who gets a great valuable load of points for Caterham. And in 11th it's Roy's son, Corey, who has made Dad super proud by finishing just 9 minutes behind. Tommen is going to come home 12th, celebrating out of relief more than joy, I think. And 13th and last, it's Doof Doof. And the Belgian national anthem plays out for Sammy, the winner of the race. And a proud and hard-fought victory it is. Remember, he was down in 7th place at the start of the first lap when he made that mistake. Well, Roy led for 9 laps at the start, and then he made that error at the first chicane, and Sammy proceeded to dominate most of the next half of the race. And then only a couple of mistakes from Sammy at the end enabled that challenge from Edster. The top 3 all finished within 10 seconds of each other. Iron had a very quiet race. I almost forgot he was in it at one point. Diablo, definitely a very strong contender for driver of the day, looking a bit further down the field with that battle with Cast. And Cyrus in the Caterham profited from Tommen's out-of-track experience and beat Corey fair and square, so another good result. But looking forward, we can expect a very tough battle over the course of the year between the top 3 drivers. Can Sammy continue his good start to the season and consolidate his points lead? We'll find out next time at Argentina. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, if you'd like to take part yourself in these races, you can go to ultimatef1racing.com. Sign up to our forum in order to find out more. Goodbye for now, and happy racing everyone.